Hello, my kingdom advancers and those that are seeking to be redeemed. I pray that you're doing amazing on this glorious day that the Lord has made. Welcome to the Kingdom Foundation that helps you pursue your passion and your purpose to become the predestined leader that God has ordained and created you to be. Now, today we will be talking about an episode that I don't talk much about, although I speak about the discipline of this topic. Episode 16 will be about sleep. Why would I talk about sleep, first of all? Why would I talk about sleep? Why can't I just let this topic be? Because there are a multitude of people that oversleep and don't realize that they are oversleeping. But I'm not going to go too deep into the topic. Number one, how much sleep do you really need? I want you to think about how much sleep do you really need? And I don't mean just jotting down what feels good. I mean, how much of sleep does your body truly need? Now, how much you desire, how much you love to sleep. Well, I love to sleep 10. No, I'm not talking about how much you love to sleep. I'm talking about how many hours of sleep do you truly need? Because majority of y'all are oversleeping. Are you oversleeping? Number two, is sleep more valuable than success? That's the greatest one. Is sleep more valuable than your success? Are your beliefs occur with a fact that sleep is more important than your success? Do you really believe that? I want to know. It's not a rhetorical question. I really want to see what you value. So is sleep more valuable than your success? Because if you believe so, number one, your why is either not strong enough or not enforced enough. A multitude of y'all, you may have a strong why for your passion, but you're not enforcing it in every area of your life. Some of y'all may say, oh, I want to provide for my mother, but yet, what are you doing to be fruitful in your talent? You say you want to be fruitful with your talent, but what are you doing? Your why could be strong enough. Because your why could be, oh, I want to retire my mother. Oh, I want to get her financially okay. I want to pay all her bills. But you believe that your sleep is more valuable in the present moment. No, don't take my word for it. Take your actions word for it. You may believe that your mother is more important than your sleep, but do you value your sleep over your mother? I'm not saying you may believe that your sleep is more important than your mother and more valuable than your mother. That's you. But which one is more important? Can sleep grant your mother bills paid? Is sleep more valuable than your mother? Is your sleep more valuable than your grandparents? Your cousins that are stuck? Your nephews that need a role model, a sense of direction? Your nieces need somebody that's a protector or that can provide? When they can't get their desires, are you there? Not even if you're not there, even if you're not present, even if you're not there to help your nephews or your nieces out or your cousins. Are you working diligently to at least make the effort to provide ways for them? That's always been in my mind. I want to provide for my nephews, my nieces. I'm not gonna do all the feeding. I want to provide a door for them so that they can be open to a strategy, so they can generate their own income, so that they don't have to leech off of me. They could be their own walking ATM and not feeding off the ATM, and because every time they're gonna get a withdrawal fee. Amen. Because ATMs have withdrawal fees. So many of you are saying you want to be at ATM, but yet you're not having a withdrawal fee. You're not making people put at least a percentage back into you. Not a 5%, not a 10%. You believe, okay, here, go ahead, yeah. Yeah, they're taking all the money out of you, taking all the mental, the physical out of you. You need to, if you can, and you will, and you must, provide a way for them by giving them a strategy. Hey, show them how it can be done. That's how it has to go. So it's either your why is not strong enough. Because I'm telling you, if your why is something material wise, if something you can see, it will not last. That will not last. Or you may not have a multiple of whys. Because my why is not only for my mother. My why is not only for my family. My why is not just the community, but it is beyond my eyesight. That's how huge my why is. So when you have a why that's greater than your own existence, your fuel will never end. I have a spiritual why, a mental why, an emotional why, and everything why. And then you have to learn to enforce it. So you may want to get your grandparents that nice place. You may want to reward your family for all the pain and the trauma that they went through. I want to do the same thing. We've all been through some goddamn trauma in our life. No matter the backgrounds, no matter the past that we all went on. Some of us, we came back to Christ. Some of them, we stayed where we were. And some of my family were staying where they are, and they're gradually coming back. It's a constant change. They're gradually coming back. They're easing into the surface again. So no matter what road we took, or no matter what road we were dealt, we have all been through some trauma and pain, confliction, and events that never needed to happen to us. Yes, I understand. Go ahead. Work for them. And when I mean work for them, I mean go ahead, give some reward. But there has to be a time you have to stop that reward and ask them, do you want better for yourself? You love the money I make. Do you want to make this money? Do you want to put in the hours for the opportunities? No, I just like the money. Oh, that's where you have to learn to cut it off. Because if you are providing a way for them and they don't want the way, and they don't want to sacrifice time and money for the way, oh, you have to cut off that flow of money. You have to cut off that reward system. You have to. You can't have people just taking from you, not pouring back. If I'm pouring into you, at least give me something back. I wonder how God feels. He gives us all of these finances. He's like, well, God darn it, you can't give me 10%. God darn it, you can't tip me 5% for giving you 100%. You can't give me 90%. You can't give me 80%. Man, I ought to. No, I'm just playing. That's not how God is. I'm just playing. But I wonder how he feels when some of humans in this world won't even pay 10%. Won't even pay 20%. 10% for tithes and 10% for optional offerings. Optional offerings are defined by your heart. If you want to give an extra 10%, give an extra 10%. But you can't continue to pour onto people. So I understand your why may be to pour on to your family, but if they do not want better for themselves, sooner or later you will have to leave yourself no choice. Trust me, you will have to leave yourself no choice but allow them to go their own way. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to have discipline. Come on. For example, you want to know a way? If they want to start a business, say, hey, okay, I'll give you a couple thousand. When the Lord allows you to do so. Because if you listen to what I say, and if you reach out to me about my leadership program, I'm telling you, you will receive this money. I'm telling you, you will be prosperous. You put the Lord first and you listen to what I tell you and you apply it, all hands down, you're going to receive that money. All hands down. Hands down, you're going to have opportunities and events coming out of nowhere. Guaranteed. You obey the Lord, you put him first, and you listen to what I tell you and you apply it. Hands down. So when God allows you to amount to such and such money, I don't know how much he's going to allow you to amount to. And if you offer your family, hey, I'm going to give you, let's say $5,000 for your business. Oh man, I blew through that. You did what? That should be your indicator to stop. You don't even have to say, oh, could I check the bank statements? You don't have to say that. You'll be able to tell. Or they will come to you in humility and say, hey, do you have that? I'm sorry, I ran through. That's your time to. Or if you want to get them grades, you could do 2,000 then. They blow through that. Don't stop. I can understand your why can be family, but your why needs to be enforced. There was a time I was like, man, I want to retire my mama, but I wasn't enforcing it strong enough. Then I started to operate it, man. I'm going to enforce it because my why is strong enough. All I got to do is just put in extra time. I write no biggie. Boom. Started doing it. Number 2, your willpower isn't fueled enough. You have to have the willpower. When E.T. said this, and I didn't realize this until I went full beast mode. I was like, what? What does that mean? If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. I didn't get that at first. I was saying, oh, it's a wonderful quote, but what does it mean? And then he said, I did not say sleep. If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. Succeed as bad as you want to sleep. And then he also said, I didn't say if you want to succeed as much as you want to eat. Because you can go a couple of days off of. He said, for us, I told you, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. First and foremost, it's the then you'll be successful. So there's a time period. In other words, it won't come right away, but you'll have your morals and your motives right. And by the time God wants to bless you with it, then he's going to allow you to receive it because he was preparing you this time. He was preparing your characteristics, your motives, and your discipline and accountability. So by the time he's ready to bless you with it, it'll be smoother than butter. Smooth like butter, baby. Smooth like butter. That blessing will come to you. But say if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that means you have to run off of coffee. That means you have to run off of days of sleep. Now listen, I remember when there was one time I was lacking sleep. And hallucinations started popping. Now I understand this. If you need to take an hour, you need to take a 2. Boom. But just make up that hour or 2. If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I speak about sleep. There are times you have to lose sleep. There are times. I've lost sleep. I'm losing sleep now. Don't feel sorry for me. You don't even have to pray for my sleep. Because I want to succeed as bad as I want to breathe. Am I saying I put my success over the Lord thy God? No, because my success is wrapped around everything that I do for Christ. My success is wrapped around the fruitfulness that God is allowing me to have. It's wrapped around my gifts and my talents that the Lord thy God has blessed me with. So everything that I do is glorifying the Lord. First I spend 2 hours with the Lord thy God. So your willpower needs to be strong enough. I have a phrase that I made. You may love that more. You may love this one more than the ET one. A king does not sleep. sleep until the kingdom is secured. You want to know what that means? You're a king. You need to make sure that the kingdom is protected. Then I'll have to break it down. So when you know that the kingdom is protected, then you can rest knowing that it's secured. In other words, if your tasks are not secured for the day, there better be a drive in you that says, no, I can't rest until I do the task for the day, until I provide, until I do what I must do, until I operate in my gifts, my dreams, my goals, my vision, the revelation, and I put forth that effort. I can't sleep. It's something, a strong urge, of desire and effort and consistency in me that won't allow me to sleep. That's a strong urge. Matthew, I just get this strong urge of when I can't complete my task. Good. That's the sound of commitment, desire, and action. That's the voice of commitment. I'm going to say it again. That's the voice of desire. That's the voice of action. And that's the voice of consistency. Don't ignore that. Because if you ignore that, you don't know when it'll pop back up again. You don't know if you'll lose your discipline. Don't ignore that voice. If something's telling you to stay up, then you better stay your behind up. Stay up. Do what you must do. Glory be to God. And so when I say a king cannot sleep until the kingdom is secured, I mean if the kingdom is not secured for the day, I have this urge to not fall asleep. I have this urge to not fall asleep. It's something that burns inside of me that tells me I can't go to sleep. Because I'm a king. I have a kingdom on earth. This is my kingdom right here. This is my kingdom right here. This kingdom foundation is my kingdom. And when I mean kingdom, I'm not saying that Jesus doesn't rule over it. I'm just saying my legacy is my kingdom. My legacy is my kingdom, because we are all royal priesthood, which means since Christ is king, we are lower kings. We are king of heirs. We are kings of air. Come on. Because I feel like some of y'all are going to believe, wait, so you trying to boast that this kingdom is yours? No, I'm not saying that the kingdom of God is my kingdom. I will abide in the kingdom, yes, but I don't own that kingdom. I will inherit part of the kingdom, but I do not own that kingdom. I didn't create that kingdom, but that kingdom abides in me. That kingdom is the only reason why I have this kingdom foundation. He is the chief king. He's the sovereign king. Boom, that's a perfect example. He's the sovereign king, while I am one of the lower kings. And he's such an amazing sovereign king that he allows us to have kingdoms on here, as long as our kingdoms magnify his kingdom. Are you with me? This kingdom magnifies his kingdom. Because I am just a king heir. I'm a lower king. He's the sovereign king, and I'm one of the lower kings. That's how it is. Glory be to God. So the king doesn't rest until the kingdom is secure. So I know I don't need to define sleep. Since I'm in the routine, I went ahead and put it to rest in the state of sleep. I did it just because. You already know what sleep is. To rest in the state of sleep, of course, sleep. Number one, your productivity will tell you if sleep is needed. I'm going to say it again. Number one, your productivity not your body, not your undisciplined mind, but your productivity will tell you if sleep is required. If you can't be productive and you're drinking cups of coffee, just go ahead and snooze. Go ahead and snooze. Your productivity will tell you. One thing about going full throttle, going beast mode, your productivity will tell you if you need to go to sleep. But you must understand the difference between when your productivity is telling you to go to sleep or when your body is telling you to go to sleep. Because your body can sell you some dumb stuff to make you believe that you need sleep at the moment. Number two, you're falling back asleep due to your mental program. Now, I hope you're taking notes. You're falling back asleep due to your mental program. Mental program is how you program your mind. If you always program yourself to go to sleep, you're going to go to sleep. If you program yourself to saying having multiple women, then you're going to have multiple women. If you're telling yourself that if you're telling yourself, I'm going to live my life how I want to live it, your mind's going to be programmed to live life how you want to live it. Where discipline comes through is if you disrupt the old mental program that you put on your life with a new mental program. That's what discipline is. What is the confliction of discipline? When your old mental program attempts to come back when you enforce the new mental program that you have now. So then the old mental program tries to creep up. So then you have to make a decision. Oh, well, I know I just had 6 hours of sleep, but I really want to go back to sleep. I just love sleep. Then here's the new self. Am I going to rest? Or am I going to receive? Do I want sleep? Or do I want success? Which one do you want? You have to know. Is sleep more valuable than my family? Is sleep more valuable than my children? Is sleep more valuable than advancing? You know what I'm about to say. Is sleep more valuable than advancing the kingdom of heaven? Was Jesus able to go back to sleep when he had to carry that cross? No. And I use that on my mindset at times. I say this. When they woke up Jesus bright and early to be betrayed by Judas, did they wait and say, oh, let's wait till daytime? You know what, let's allow him to get a full night's rest. You think you think they said, you know what, let's let Jesus get a full night's rest? He has a big day ahead of him. No. They said, forget this man. They claimed that he was blasphemy. They claimed that he was a worker of the devil. They claimed that he was a sorcerer of what kind? And they got him. Beat him, scorned him, abused him, spat on him. Mocked him of prophecies. Mocked him of his healing and deliverances and rebuking all the demons. Then he got hit with a staff by the army men, and they mocked him by putting purple scarlet on him and then ripping it back off. Then they whipped him with those not just a lash. The lashes had nails on it, some type of metal on it, but on the end they had metal clamps that would tear chunks of your flesh and blood off. And of course he had to wear the crown of thorns, because they mocked him again as all hail King of Jews. Then he had to carry that cross, that big old cross. The cross was heavy enough to carry him, to carry him. I know that sounds out of proportion, but the cross was heavy enough to carry him. Because how else will he be hung? The cross had to be heavier than him. Then they speared him. But he wasn't thinking about sleep. And I know that was out of proportion. I know that was out of proportion. But I want you to realize, for the kingdom advancers, at first I thought I was speaking out of proportion, but now I realize why I said it. Now I remember why I said it. Do you think that sleep is more important than advancing the kingdom of heaven? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Yes, we are not the Savior. We know. We know what he did couldn't have been accomplished by anybody else, spiritually or physically. For the book of Romans says this: rarely somebody would die for a person that's righteous. Rarely. But often they would die for somebody that's good. That's what Paul said. If I'm not mistaken, it's Romans either chapter 3 or 4. I'm going to give you some facts about sleep. Number one, average humans spend 1/3 of their life sleeping. 1/3. That's 8 hours. Average humans. Not above average. Not champions. Not money makers. An average human spends 1/3 of their life sleeping. 8 hours. I don't care if you're financially fit. Why don't you use 1 to 2 extra hours to get ahead, to spend time with family? Or make more money if you're already spending more time. 6 hours is not bad. An average human spends 1/3 of their life sleeping. Your body does not need 8 hours. You just need to train your mind. You need to train your mind through this process. Your mind is telling you ridiculous stuff. You need to get that out of your head. Number 2, creating a sleep routine increases your sleep. I mean, quality-wise. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. The whole entire time I was waking up at 4 a.m. and getting up I was waking up at 4 a.m., going to sleep at 10 a.m. Still 6 hours. Then I shifted it, waking up at 3 a.m., going to sleep at 9 a.m. So therefore, I was still getting 6 hours of sleep. And then I started waking up at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. ever since July 2022. Now, mind you, I was still getting 6 hours of sleep when I was waking up at 4 a.m. Nothing changed. Just started to go to sleep earlier. It has been 2 whole months. 2 whole months, just about the whole entire July and the whole entire September. I mean, August. Oops. Dang, I was thinking about about next month or this month. It's not needed. The 8 hours sleep isn't needed. But back to the sleep pattern. I started waking up at 3 a.m. And all of a sudden, something just wakes me up. You know what that is? God. Of course, God, that's God waking you up. But it's something about your body. It loves routine. Your body loves routine. Have you ever went on a fast? Okay, I'm not going to lie. I haven't been hungry. I haven't been hungry for some reason. I've been thinking, am I being full of the Spirit? And I don't know what it is. I'm not being hungry. I'm forcing myself to eat. But I'm forcing myself to eat because my body is in the routine to eat. And of course, I need the nutrients. But there's this urge. It's like this emptiness that when I don't eat, my body tells me to eat. Because it's in a routine. Your body knows when you need a shower. Because it's in a routine. And of course, I would want you to keep your hygiene. Your body's going to tell you when to brush your teeth because it's in a routine. And plus, you're supposed to brush your teeth, obviously. If you're somebody that exercises like me, your body will tell you when you need to exercise. Unless all your muscles are torn up and you've overworked. Your body loves routine. And your body operates better when you're under a routine. And you actually operate better in all areas. I made it mandatory that I spend 2 hours with God. At the least. It's not counting all the times I need his help. Not all the times that he reveals to me his word, his confirmation, revelation. Then I start writing to him. I start praying to the Lord. That's a minimum. I made that non-negotiable. So number 3, eyes off electronics, okay? Eyes off of electronics. That's going to hit you. That's going to hit you. Oh, I want to play Fortnite. Oh, I want to play Call of Duty. Oh, I want to scroll on Instagram. I want to get on the TV. Eyes off electronics equal better quality sleep. I'm telling you, when I turn my phone off before I go to bed, minutes before, unless I am doing work, unless I'm executing on this computer, that's the only time I am on an electronic late at night. Every now and then I'll be on my phone, either on a call, texting, posting. Probably scroll for 5 minutes, boom. Less than that, actually. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But I notice the days that I don't be on my electronics, the days that I don't be on my computer or anything, computer, or if I'm watching something with my mother, because I mainly don't watch TV. It becomes better quality sleep. Now, one thing about me, 6 hours is what my body normally requires. Do I get less sleep than that at times? Yes. Has that been that for this week? Yes. It's been less than that this week. But one thing about that, my body will immediately shut down once I finish my work. Once I finish my work, it immediately shuts down. Why? Because it's tired. So once again, your productivity will allow you to know when you are tired. But also, when you're finished, your body will tell you when you're tired. You just have to get your mind in the right program. So don't you dare oversleep, because it's biblical. This stuff is biblical as well. Oversleeping is in the Bible. It's in the Bible. So this is not, oh, you're just on that discipline stuff. You're on that mind system. You're on that over accountability. You're an overachiever. You just do the most. Blah, 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 blah. You know your mission, your purpose, your destiny, your destination. Oh, God just has a special touch on you. All of those are lies, but carry on. But God doesn't have a special touch on me. I just decided to listen. Ooh, dang. Ooh. Number one, oversleepers don't have harvest. I'm actually going to give 3 points for this. Oversleepers don't have harvest. That's point number one. You don't have harvest when you're an oversleeper. You may have sustainability, but you don't have harvest. Now, you will reap what you sow, but that's not a harvest. You receive a harvest is something that you receive overflowing. When you just have sustainability, you just have here and there. Oversleepers don't have harvest. Number two, poverty creeps upon oversleepers. That's true. If you're somebody that's financially set, if you don't continue to discipline yourself, you will lose that discipline and you will slip into the abyss of poverty. Number three, oversleepers have sustainability, if that. That's what I just said. And if you want to find out where I got these from, you can go to Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20. Oversleepers don't have harvest. I summarize that into my way. I don't remember what scripture that was, but I know it's in Proverbs chapter 20. The second one, poverty creeps upon oversleepers. That's Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13. And oversleepers have sustainability, if that. I added that in there. And then it also says that the oversleepers, the sluggers, the lazy people and the oversleepers, what do? When it's cold, they don't. When it's too cold and when it's too hot, they don't want to get the harvest. They don't want to work. So therefore, their harvest season is low. Therefore, they only have sustainability, if that, because that's the max. Sustainability is the max. What will you do to stop your slumber? I want to find out, what will you do to stop your slumber? Because if you are willing to make the change to enforce your why to a stronger level, I want to know, what will you do to stop your slumber? Feed that hunger and stop that slumber. Hey, that's a nice one. Feed your hunger and stop that slumber. All right, boom. But I need you to think about it, and it shouldn't take long. Because if you have a strong desire, it shouldn't take long. If you know what you want, it shouldn't take long. If you want to enforce it, it shouldn't take long. If you know that your family deserves it, it shouldn't take long. If you know that people deserve it, it should not take long. So number one, create a foundational reason to wake up earlier. You may be waking up for no reason. Wake up just to wake up. What's the point of waking up just to wake up? If you're waking up just to have time on your hands and doing nothing with that time, you waking up early for that specific reason is vanity. So create a foundational reason to wake up early. I create a foundational reason to wake up early. Once again, something that's greater than me, greater than my family, even greater than my generations after me. I plan on being here for a century or two. And I don't mean physically. I mean, I want my videos to be on here at least a century. And no. 2 centuries. That's my goal. That's my goal, for my videos to roam the internet for at least 2 centuries. If Jesus doesn't come back by then. So create a foundational reason to wake up. Number 2, learn the difference between restoration and slumber. We've proved this the entire video. Because let me tell you. I'm going to go back to number 1. If you don't create a foundational reason to wake up early, you will slip into slumber for the rest of your life. And if you don't enforce it, you will definitely fall into slumber for the rest of your life. And if you don't learn the difference from restoration and slumber, the same thing, you will fall into the slumber for the rest of your life. And you will be faced with regret until you finally realize the differences. So start going to bed an hour less. If you're going to bed at 8, excuse me. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep, do 7. If you can't handle going to sleep an hour earlier, do 30 minutes. Break it up into increments. I don't know what you need to do to free more time to operate in your gifts. If you need to do 8, do 7.5. Or if you could go jump to 8 to 7, that's perfect. If you sleep 7 hours, if you need to do small increments and go to 6.5, do so. But for the ones that can do from 7 to 6, that's amazing. Because you need to free your time up. And even if you want to get 5 hours of sleep, if you want to get 5 hours of sleep, that is on you. I have to get 6 hours. But when there's something that I must do, I'm not getting those 6 hours of sleep. No. So I want you to think of 2 things. Number 1, think about how ahead you'll be with extra hours. Who you'll be able to help out. Who you will be able to advance. How will you be able to advance the kingdom of heaven? Then I want you thinking about the second one. I'm going to give you some time. Positive you may. Number 2, realize that slumber prolongs the destination. Slumber prolongs the destination. It prolongs the destination because it's taking longer. You're taking longer with your dream. You're being inconsistent. It prolongs your destiny. So time to show it time to show it can be done. And with that, I want to tell you to say something. Did you say it to yourself? I must chase my dream. I must chase my dream. I must chase my dream. So when I was saying it's time to show that it can be done, show your family, the community, show that it can be done. Number 1, prove that 1/3 of your life doesn't have to be slumber. Prove that the extra 1 to 2 hours, even 3 hours, can be done for work that can advance your life and people around you. Number 2, more can be done with those extra hours. And number 3, chase down your industry. I need you to chase down your industry with those hours. They're saying you can't do it. They're saying you'll never get to them. They're saying they grew up with money. They had an inheritance. They have an inheritance. You can't come up to me. You're gonna let them talk to you like that? I'm not saying do physical altercations. I'm just saying you don't have to prove them wrong either. I'm just saying, all right, I'm gonna show you. You can show somebody without attempting to prove them wrong. I've proved people wrong without attempting to prove people wrong. I've showed people without attempting to show them. I just reinvented myself, went after my purpose and my passion, and my actions proved them wrong without me trying to prove them wrong. When you develop yourself, you've proved people wrong unintentionally. And of course they fade away intentionally. Chase down your industry. That man, that woman saying, oh, you can't catch it on me? See how many clients I have? Do you know how many credit lines I have? How many black cards I have? You're struggling with business aid. You think you could catch up to me? That's your opportunity right there to tell yourself, all right, me, I'm going to make sure that I wake up earlier and I'm going to chase them down. But I'm not going to chase them down for selfish ambition. I'm going to chase them down because my family deserve it. I'm going to chase them down because my future generations deserve it. I'm going to chase them down because I deserve it. And I need you to understand that you deserve a greater life, but it will not be handed to you. You first have to build the fruits of the Spirit, and then you have to build yourself up. Then you have to build others up, and then that's when it will come. I need you to understand that it doesn't come till after you put in the work. I'm putting in work now, and I'm telling you that I've received the fruitfulness. Maybe not the fruitfulness of money, but I've received the fruitfulness of the fruits of the Spirit and blessing others and helping others and helping them in their situations and allow them to operate in a greater performance. Matter of fact, in their peak performance. Glory be to God. Woo! Did you understand that sleep is needed? Oversleeping are for the sluggards and the slumberers. Know the difference between restoration and slumber. Get your harvest. You went through all the pain, get your harvest. Get what you worked for. Get what you worked for. But don't waste all your time and energy into buying something. What? You just got an investment and you want to buy a new house, a new car? You're not trying to invest that at first? You tripping. You tripping. If you need help with your leadership, your confidence, and your backside, I want you to DM or email me. My information is in the About tab. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to advance the kingdom of heaven in unity. God bless you. And don't forget, Jesus loves you. And I will talk to you later.